What's up, my Call of Duty Black Ops 3 fans? Today it is time to put down the controller for a little bit and do some learning. That's right, learning is involved. I've done some extensive research, hours and hours of writing this down, cramped hands, and I finally got it all together. The Cthulhu mythos, fully in-depth explained, leave you with minimal amount of questions. Probably none. And yeah, you can decide for yourself whether or not you think it's the elder things that they're talking about, because in the cipher that was deciphered, I don't think it's the elder things that they're talking about. But I'm not going to hold you up. Before I get started, I am going to ask you guys to please smash that like button, that subscription button, please. It is very helpful to me, and even more inspiring to make more videos. But even if I'm still going to be doing it, grinding out these videos. So, yeah, here we go. The fundamental concept of Cthulhu mythology is the universe is ruled by beings known as the outer gods, the great old ones, and the other gods. Only few of these deities are known by name. The majority of them are both blind and idiotic, but they are all extremely powerful beings. What are the outer gods? Well, the outer gods rule the universe and have little to do with humanity. Humans meddling with these entities usually end up mad or dead. All the races and lesser deities of the mythology acknowledge the outer gods, and many worship them. The outer gods are controlled to an extent by their messenger and soul, Nyarlathotep. Generally, the outer gods are thought to be unrestricted in their range and powers. The outer gods include the following: Azathoth, the blind idiot chaos who bubbles and blasphemes at the center of chaos or the center of the universe, depending on who you ask, and is thought to be the creator of all things. Shub-Niggurath, the principle of fertility, who is often named in rituals but rarely encountered. Yog-Sothoth, a being who is one with all time and space and often appears as a cluster of floating iridescent spheres. It is conterminous with all time and space, but locked somehow outside the mundane universe. Nyarlathotep, the soul and thousands formed messengers of outer gods. Most mythos beings are indifferent to humanity, but Nyarlathotep is more often a trickster who enjoys giving humanity the key to its own destruction. Who are the Great Old Ones? The Great Old Ones are not as supernatural as the outer gods, but they are godlike nonetheless, and terrible. Humans are much likely to worship the Great Old Ones, who are near at hand and who occasionally participate in human affairs or contact individual humans, than they are to worship outer gods. Beings serving the Great Old Ones frequently inhabit the remote vastness of the earth. Humans often encounter the worshippers and their alien servants of the Great Old Ones. Each Great Old One is independent of the rest, and many seem to be imprisoned in some way. But it's said that when the stars are right, the Great Old Ones will be freed from their imprisonment and they will rule the world once again. But when the stars are not right, they cannot live. Need not mean dead, as the famous couplet from the Necronomicon suggests. That is not dead which can eternally lie, and with strange aeons even death may die. Cthulhu is at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean in the city of Relia. The Great Old Ones are often worshipped by insane human cultists and other species. Cthulhu is perhaps the most famous Great Old One. With the rest of his race, he sleeps in a vast tomb at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. But when the stars are right, the Lord of Aurelia will rise from his watery grave and rule the world rightfully once again. Cthulhu seems to be the most known of the Great Old Ones, but even still, here's a list of the well-known Great Old Ones. Kuga. It appears as a large ball of fire and is often accompanied by smaller beings called fire vampires. Kuga may only be summoned when Fomalhaut is in the sky. Gleaki, a creature which dwells beneath Alake near the 7 rivers. It has a slug-like body with stalked eyes and spine and commands a horde of undead servants. Hastur, a air element who is Cthulhu's half-brother. Ithagwa. This creature is the Wendigo from Crete and Ojibwa mythology, a cannibalistic giant with a heart of ice. Hastur the Unspeakable dwells near Aldebaran, and Cthulhu dwells near Fomalhaut. Who are the Elder Gods? A group of independent beings who oppose the Great Old Ones and Outer Gods. The most famous of these is Nodens, Lord of the Great Abyss. There are others there are others such as Thanid and Bast from Egyptian mythology, but they generally avoid being involved with human affairs, so their true number and names remain a mystery. There's also a species associated with the Great Old Ones or Elder Gods, the Biake with Hastur or Night Gunts with Nodens. These are servant species who help their masters by frightening humans or by acting as assassins, messengers, spies, and or agents. These species are lesser than their masters, but still most were too terrible to even be seen by humans. Biaki are winged creatures which dwell in the depth of space near Aldebaran. If a ritual involving a magic whistle and fluid called space mead is performed, a Biaki will appear and serve the mount for the caster. They are allied with Hastur. Now, for the Elder Things or Old Ones. Starfish-like entities which are part animal and part plant. They came from the stars in ancient times from another place in the galaxy within this time-space continuum and absorbed chemicals that made them do without breath, eating, and heat, but lost this ability in their history In the beginning, they lived under the sea in the Antarctic Ocean, but later migrated to land for food purposes. They started life on Earth. All life on Earth, from bacteria to dinosaurs to humans, are a direct result of their genetic experiments. They made multicellular protoplasmic masses named Shoggoths, which they used as slaves. The Elder Things fought many battles and won until the Migo came and eventually made the Elder Things abandon their cities and live underwater, where they found a large underground ocean, the Stygian. There they built a great city and lived until the Shoggoths had a great rebellion that almost caused the extinction of the Elder Things. And then we have the great race of Yith, or Yithians. They are time-traveling beings with no true physical form. They occupy the bodies of immense, iridescent, cone-shaped creatures millions of years ago. The creatures had long arms with pincers, a trumpet-like mouth, and a small round head. Members of the great race can send their minds into the future, swap consciousness with dwellers there, and they usually do so as part of their research. The great race turned to the task of setting up exchanges with the minds of other planets and exploring their pasts and futures. It sought likewise to fathom the past year's origins of that black aeon-dead orb in far space where its own mental heritage had come. For the minds of the great race are older than its bodily form, the beings of a dying elderly world. The beings of a dying elder world, wise with ultimate secrets. Wise with ultimate secrets had looked ahead for a new world and species wherein they might have long life, and had sent their minds en masse into that future race adapted to house them, the cone-shaped being that peopled our earth 1 billion years ago. So that quick little last part of the Yithians, let me explain in layman's terms, because I know a lot of you guys didn't understand what that meant. The great race of Yithians, their consciousness outdates their bodies. So their consciousness was developed first, and then their bodies came. So in order to preserve life and to satisfy their own curiosity, they're able to travel through time and space and take over people's consciousness. Well, it's basically they transfer their consciousness into that one species, and that species consciousness transfers back into their old body, but their consciousness is held captive. They like to do this so that they can explore different things, find out what's going on. That's how they found out that they was gonna get that they were the slaves that they had were gonna rebel against them and basically, kill them off. Which is when they sent their consciousness into the far future and took over, some other species mind, basically. So these guys are time travelers through telepathy, basically. So yeah, that's basically it. If you want to know anything else, I guess you can just hit me up in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer any unanswered questions that you may have throughout the whole little speech that I had. But yeah, guys, this is very important. If you don't do any studying up on it, we're probably not going to find out what that cipher really means. I don't believe that the cipher is talking about the elder things. I think they can be talking about the great race of the Yith, or they are talking about the elder gods, because their role in this are much more important than the elder things. Most of these people are just going on Google, Wikipedia, looking up what are the elder things, and then they find out, but they're not understanding this thing is based on the cthulhu mythos. You have to do extensive research and find out everything about this before you can start making assumptions. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Remember, hit that like button, please, and subscribe. I know my voice is kind of messed up, but I've been practicing this. I'm tired. This is my last take, and yeah, let's get this thing solved, guys. Let me know. Hit that like button, subscribe. I know I keep on saying it, but it is very important. And yeah, I love you guys. I'm a Black Ops 3 zombies, period. Let's, I love it. Let's do it. Peace.